With the Pro 7, Meizu dared to implement something that has never been done before. A rear info display that is supposed to keep the user up to date and enable selfies with the main camera. We have looked at how the new Meizu Flagship performs. I'm Christopher for CMM, enjoy the review. The Meizu Pro 7 was lent to us in the Plus version with 64 GB by trading Shenzhen for this test. For this we would like to thank these guys very much. The link to the shop can be found in the video description. The packaging of the Meizu Pro 7 Plus is just as premium as the smartphone itself. In old tradition, a new and very interesting packaging concept has been invented, which provides a very polished first impression from the very beginning. However, there are no surprises with the packaged contents themselves. You will get a mCharge fast charger, a USB Type-C cable, some paperwork and, last but not least, also a hard case for the back of your smartphone. Despite the 5.7-inch display, the Meizu Pro 7 Plus is still a relatively compact phone. The handset is about the same size as an iPhone 7 Plus and is very slim with only 7.38mm. Nevertheless, Meizu did not remove the headphone jack, like many other manufacturers in the premium segment are currently doing. The Meizu Pro 7 Plus is entirely made from metal and is therefore very sturdy despite its thin body. The build quality is excellent in all aspects. The back has become a real eye-catcher, and that's not only because of the unusually placed and shiny Meizu logo. The main attraction is the glass cutout with the camera module. Here, a small OLED display is hidden, which we will discuss later on in more detail. The front panel, on the other hand, does not have any special features and with the physical mTouch home button is typical for a Meizu phone. The status LED above the screen sticks to the tradition and therefore is a single color white LED. The sensors this time were integrated into the metal grid of the handset's earpiece. Meizu doesn't play the bezel-less games. The edges of the screen are not excessively wide, but they also are not that slim either. In terms of usability, however, this is an advantage. The display itself is 5.7 inches as already mentioned, but there is also a smaller version with 5.2 inches. The display is based on an AMOLED technology and uses a very high resolution of 2560 by 1440 pixels. The result is a great display without compromises. The slightly pixely looking structure of Full HD AMOLEDs has disappeared and the typical AMOLED looks in terms of color is no longer there. The display looks like an excellent LCD panel, only because the contrast is better and black is really black, you notice that this is an AMOLED panel. Outdoor readability is great as well. In contrast to the panel used on the Meizu Pro 6, the screen achieves a very high brightness and is easy to read under sunlight. On the touchscreen, 3D/Force Touch support has been removed, but probably only very few people will miss this. The touch panel quality is not affected by this. The system responds promptly and precise to all entries. The Gorilla Glass 5 cover of the screen provides pleasant gliding properties and keeps fingerprints under control. However, the expected scratch resistancy does not seem to be quite given. We got one scratch after placing the screen on a table just once. Probably it was just bad luck, but if you want to be safe, you should order a protective glass with your phone just to be sure. Let's turn the handset around and have a look at the info display. This is a 1.9-inch AMOLED screen and operates at 536 by 240 pixels. Flipping the phone around turns it on automatically, as you've been able to see. Alternatively, you can also wake it up by double tapping on it. On the start page, the info display shows you the time, day and the temperature of the current location. If there are new notifications, this will be symbolized by an icon. If you swipe to the left, a step counter widget appears, and if you are walking and the info display is activated, the step counter will be shown automatically. The next widget is a weather widget, however, we don't get the purpose of this because the weather widget doesn't show any more information than the temperature display on the start page. To shoot a selfie with the main camera, simply swipe up or down quickly. In the mini camera app, you can choose between a normal, beauty and blur mode. The latter creates shots with bokeh effect. To take the picture, just touch the screen. Another feature that exists is a music mode, and the smartphone then is switched off and can only be used as an MP3 player. The control is then carried out exclusively via the info display. And that's it. The info display does not offer any further functions and so far also no expansion possibilities. We would have wished that there was a way to include third-party apps or to display notifications in form of a preview or to control music playback in all apps. But puff pastry, none of this has been implemented yet, but maybe it will in the future. We are curious to see what Meizu will do to this technology in the future. The potential is definitely there, just at the moment it looks more like a tech demo. However, the info display is not the only innovation on the Meizu Pro 7 Plus. The handset is the first one to use the all-new Mediatek Helio X30 processor. This is the most powerful Mediatek SoC to date. This relies once again on a 3-cluster architecture consisting of two 2.6 GHz Cortex-A73 cores, 4 2.2 GHz Cortex-A53 cores, and 4 1.9 GHz Cortex-A35 cores. Together with a PowerVR 7XTP GPU, the chipset in the Antutu benchmark reaches more than 143,000 points. In everyday life, the processor easily keeps up with a Snapdragon 835 even if the score is a little lower. The X30 is a real high-end chip and it is a lot of fun to use on a daily basis. Since the Helio X30 is manufactured with 10 nanometers, it generates much less heat than the Helio X20 series. Even the most demanding games are fluidly playable without any stutter after a while. The highest SoC temperature we measured under full load was 40 degrees Celsius only. The Helio X30 is still situated at the level of a Snapdragon 835, although more cores are used here. In terms of memory, the bottlenecks known from the Helio X20 series are gone. Thanks to LPDDR4X technology, the 6GB RAM is blazingly fast. Also, UFS 2.1 memory is supported and used. The read and write rates are excellent. The Meizu Pro 7 Plus offers a full range of sensors and in our test all sensors work perfectly. The Type-C port supports USB Otg and can also be used to connect external storage media, a mouse or a keyboard. The operating system used is FlymeOS 6 based on Android 7.0. Unfortunately, the security patch is dated to April 5th. Meizu should update this urgently. Unfortunately, there currently is no global firmware and therefore only the English language is available. You also have to install the Play Store manually, which is very simple though. In the Meizu App Store there is a Google installer which installs everything you need at the push of a button. We still enjoy using FlymeOS a lot. At the beginning the operation with the home button is a little unfamiliar and you also have to get used to the gesture for opening the app switcher, but once you did, operation is smooth and fast. However, Meizu should still work on the compatibility with apps. There still are some problems here and there. For example, we couldn't use our banking app because the SMS verification doesn't work, and furthermore, some games do not start or crash shortly after the start, including Asphalt Extreme. Facebook Messenger is also still experiencing problems. The built-in camera function cannot be used and the upper status bar disappears when a conversation is opened. However, since Meizu provides regular updates, we are pretty sure that the bugs will soon be a thing of the past. The Meizu Pro 7 Plus performs excellent in terms of reception quality. In cellular, you have to live without the band 20 LTE, but reception quality is simply perfect. And in Wi-Fi it's no different. Whether next to the router or one floor below, the bandwidth doesn't drop a bit. Contrary to some information on the internet, the Pro 7 Plus does not offer NFC support. Bluetooth 4.2 is supported and works very well with high range. There were no anomalies with the GPS, we could easily track and navigate, and even during bad weather the accuracy was extremely good. The Meizu Pro 7 Plus does not offer stereo speakers. What may sound like a disadvantage at first is not really a disadvantage. The mono loudspeaker gets extremely loud and sounds really good. The basses are very intense for a phone. The 3.5mm headphone jack delivers a stunning output thanks to a dedicated amplifier. We have not tested a smartphone so far that has such a powerful output, and if you have good headphones you will have a lot of fun here. When it comes to telephony, the quality is in the upper midfield, the sound could be a bit clearer, but the opposite always understands you without any issues, and active noise cancelling works very well too. The Meizu Pro 7 Plus is the first Meizu flagship with a dual camera. This one consists of two Sony IMX386 sensors with f2.0 aperture, one which operates in black and white mode, and the front camera uses a 16 megapixel sensor also with f2.0 aperture. In single camera mode, the Meizu Pro 7 Plus delivers excellent performance. The sharpness and richness of detail in the pictures is simply amazing. The dynamics are also great and colors look very vivid. The Meizu Pro 7 Plus performs clearly better than the Xiaomi Mi 6 or the OnePlus 5. The low-light performance is also very impressive. Especially when using a tripod and manually controlling exposure, impressive results can be achieved. The Meizu Pro 7 Plus is then able to shoot photos at night with an enormous amount of detail, very good brightness and absolutely no noise. Even stars can be photographed. With the bokeh mode, you can clearly see that dual cameras are new territory for Meizu. The software has obvious issues recognizing the contours of foreground objects, and the results often look modest at best, especially with flowers. At times, the bokeh effect works properly though, and then the results are very good. Let's just hope that Meizu will continue to improve this situation. The front camera is somewhat disappointing. The colors here seem quite dark and the richness of detail is rather poor. However, since you can shoot selfies with the main camera thanks to the info display, this is not a big flaw. 4K videos look good and the sound is also good. Unfortunately, there is no image stabilization. In addition, the autofocus is extremely slow. Here too, Meizu should still improve the software a lot. And there is also room for improvements in the camera application itself. This is partly quite unstable. If you keep the app running in the background and then open it again, the focus sometimes doesn't work anymore. There are a number of similar bugs as well, so we hope to get an update soon. Last but not least, the battery life remains to be covered, and the Helio X30 has proven to be quite an efficient chip. The 3500 mAh battery pack delivers a screen on time of about 8 hours, and for power users this is easily enough for one day. And thanks to mCharge, the battery is quickly charged again. Charging the handset only takes about 1 hour from 20 to 100%. Conclusion: the Meizu Pro 7 Plus is a decent flagship, but it also costs a lot of money. The info display is a nice feature, but currently only a tech demo, which will hopefully become a very useful feature in the future. The price is not justified by the secondary display yet. The Meizu Pro 7 Plus in our opinion is particularly suitable for those who pay attention to the camera, especially night photography, as well as audio quality. For this group of buyers and for those who like extravagant devices, we therefore give a full purchase recommendation. And that's all for this video. A shop link and more information is located down in the video description. I was Christopher for CMM, thanks for watching and see you in the next one.